And he said one day he was so hungry, he hadn't anything all day. He cut a pie, a peach pie up, and ate a piece. And then he had to fess up to Mrs. Coleman, and she said, look, it's okay, Lee, I'll fix you one next time. He just said, I was so hungry I couldn't stand it. By the way, Mrs. Coleman, I'll tell you the story, it's a quick one. She and her brother, she was 4 and he was 5, their parents sent them from Germany to America with a tag around them, a wooden tag, get me to Cincinnati, Ohio, and the address. And they landed in New York City, and the Germans passed them down through New York, Pennsylvania, got them to Cincinnati. Her name was, started with G, Grandma Spocker, my names. And she ended up in Louisville, where she married a Coleman. And somehow they ended up in Tell City. She would make these pies. My mom said they were just unbelievably good. And in fact, she was so good, they would ship these pies to Louisville on the train that came through here every day. But they had to quit because of mice were eating the pies. Okay, that's it. It says here it's at the corner of River Road and Boundary Way, which is down by Maxon's. You can see the hill behind it, and I guess it's gone. Obviously gone, unless someone can dispute that. And here's that Gustav Walter residence where the #1 share company stick shed was. Behind it is the January Weisenberger. Behind it is A.P. Finn's home. On the other side of the street was where Julie Cohen grew up. And this was Albert Honstein had something to do with this. He said it was an absolutely magnificent home. The carpentry was just unbelievable. Plain mill on the left. Hanser House. I don't know. 1907 flood. I guess that you're on Main Street here because you've got this stepping stone for a horse. And look at that home. That's just, it's gone.
That's where the AP store was.
What's that?
That's where the grocery store was.
Really? Yeah, that's where the AP store was. AP store in the parking lot. Yeah, it's.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good call, right? Yeah. Henry Bader. It says 607 Main Street. That's about where
Trestlers.
607 Telsey National Bank was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right in there, long gone.
Was Roland's in that one at one time? Jewelry?
They did used to be in one of those.
I don't know.
They were in that area, but I don't know if it was that building.
Rollins was down in Chris Cable's building, weren't they?
No, they were next door.
They were next
But
door.
then they moved next to Telsey National Bank for a period and then to where they're at now.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's the building or not.
It's further.
It's in that area.
Right.
Oh boy, I'm glad we got this one. Thank you, Kathy Fenlon. Look at that one. Still there, right across the street. The old brick house. Look at it. Right across the street. And I don't know if it can be saved. I don't know. Chris, what's going on with that house?
I'll comment off camera.
Thank you.
Don't
Okay,
worry,
this
Johnny,
one
you
says
never
Henry-
commit yourself on camera.
Herb. Is that how you pronounce it, Henry Herb?
She does that a lot.
Okay, Henry Herb, at River Road and Boundary, again next to that other house. I don't know. Oh, this house was moved to 317 13th.
It's still there. I think somebody's working on it last I saw.
I've seen somebody working on that house.
That's the one right next to my son.
That's the one Clark and I were talking about that moved up on 13th Street.
Okay, all
I
right.
remember that.
1943 was moved. Okay.
Elmer Bucket probably moved it.
This was on the east side of the 500 block of Main Street in 1913. The home was on the original old plank road. It was across the alley, I think, from the Post restaurant. Is that correct?
I think
Was it across the alley or on the same side? I thought it was just directly behind it.
I was told it was on the other side, and it faced Plank Road.
Oh, shoot.
It faced west.
She was on the alley. That house was on the alley.
It was right on the alley.
On the east side or west side?
Which
On
side?
the
That
west
side?
side, I think.
Huh?
It was in the bay.
The west side,
Behind the
yeah.
post.
Which side?
The west side,
Oh, it's on the west side.
I
yeah,
think so.
I thought it was on the west side.
yeah.
Okay, I'm.
There's
stand
pictures
corrected.
of it was there when they built the new post, well, the new one, whatever, the post restaurant post building.
Right.
You see it in the background, and I guess they tore it down when they were done. Maybe they used it as a office or a shed, I don't know. But it was there when they built it in 1937.
Okay,
They
so
built
that was behind the
36.
post on that side of the alley. Okay, I'm glad you said that. Okay. And there again is a stone house gone. I don't know. Just, here I go again. Okay, Mary Becker residence in 1918. 9th and Washington, is that right across the street from you, Chris Gale?
Behind that picture, you can see the corner of my building. That side of the house here, I think, faced the alley.
Oh,
You
It was
can
the
put-
plank road.
Yeah, the plank road. You can see just maybe the top corner on the right of that picture. Maybe. It's, yeah.
Hey, I promised everybody an hour. It's only 7 o'clock and we're barely halfway through.
Well,
Keep going until somebody else till, and we'll go down. I will try to go a little bit faster, but, I mean, we're collecting. Anybody have an idea about that one? They built a lot of homes like
I
that.
don't think it looks familiar.
We think it's, I don't know, could easily be gone. 7th Street near Humboldt during 1913 flood. If anybody, you know.
that looks like the house that was next, that looks like the one next to that one. To the left of it. Yeah, to the right of it looks like the other one. Maybe I'm wrong. Kathy, what do you think?
Mine would be,
Jacob
I can't
Zerker
see very
home.
well. That's Julie
432
Coleman.
7th Street.
that's Julie's.
Yeah, Zerker.
6-3. That's a Zerker home.
That's
Yeah.
in there.
That's Julie. That's Julie's home.
Hello?
Okay. That don't look like an American Foursquare, so I.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay, this house was, where St. Paul's Church is now, correct?
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay, yeah,
yes.
yeah, okay. They tore it down. In fact, is that the church that's next to it there on the left?
The old church,
It is,
yes.
the old church. And that was the priest home. It was.
This was the priest home, correct? And that's the church right next to it, on the left.
Wow, you remember that, Ann? I mean,
You know.
you're not that much older than me.
The church was beautiful. People said, why did they tear it down? And Dad said the walls were starting to buckle. And he said, they said the church was wondering if it was gonna fall down. Especially if the wrong person walked in church. Okay. 1937 flood, the Pulse home. Does everybody remember the Pulse home?
Oh, yes.
This would have been right next, right out of the picture would have been P.J. Coles' house on the left-hand side. This is a Steamboat House.
Yes.
According to Mrs. Sherman's, Edgar's mother, there were 4 steamboat homes. The steamboats go up and down the river, and every once in a while, the boiler would just give out. So we would park here, and it was just done. And these old guys, instead of sinking it or burning it, they would cut off the superstructure and pull it off with mules and logs or ropers and pulled them up into town. And I found in the archives at the museum where this was actually moved up to where old St. Paul's School is. And when they built old St. Paul's School, they moved it again to
Right across the street.
Where it is?
Right.
the Paul's home.
Mhm.
And if you look at it, it's not a normal looking home. And there were 4 of them. One of them was next to just a block or 2 over here, burned 50 years ago or 60 years ago. And another one's across from City Hall Park. It burned about 5 years ago.
Mhm.
Odd looking house, rectangular, it just looked out of place. It was a steamboat home. There's one steamboat home left, that's catty corner from Franklin School, Clyde Walker's home.
Yeah.
I've been in that home when it was for sale about 10 years ago, and it I've seen old pictures of these old steamboats, and, you know, they have a big room, and then off to the side would be a steps going up and down, off to the side, and it looked just like that. Okay, so I'll move on. There's the Paul's home again. I don't know. I don't know how they did it. That's what they did. The Paulses sold it to the Blandford family, Manford Blandford. I remember that.
Yeah.
Manford had good parties there, didn't he? We're not gonna go there. Okay. This is the John Biggert residence across from Newman School. He was manager of Telsey Brewing. That's still there. That's Ivan Sprinkle's home.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. 3 stories.
Is that where the fellas live?
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil.
Okay.
Still live there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil
He had-
sold it.
He has taken good care of that home. Okay, John Weinberg. He was the guy who, sculptor, artist, he made the lines for City Hall. Where was this? I think I know, but I'm not sure. John?
I mean, I want to tell you. It was up kind of behind, I guess you say Pete Franzen's in that area, in that hillside, kind of by Maxon's-ish.
I heard he was
Somewhere
on the
there.
hillside, down below where Jerry Malone lives, up on Washington Street. You go up to 10th, turn right, is up on that hillside.
It's further down Mo Shergan's area, Kathy, would you say?
He's back on that hillside somewhere,
Near Bloom.
Near Bloom, yeah.
but my dad told me as kids, they used to run through it and look through the windows. It was boarded up. They'd see all kinds of statues and stuff in there. And isn't that the reason it got torn down or whatever? It was somebody's breaking into it all the time.
I don't know.
Somebody told me that. He conducted an art school. And most of the times he had a degree in the building was declared a nuisance. Yeah, I don't know. All right. John Sweeney, 923 Main Street. Yeah, that's right across the street from Fisher Furniture. It was torn down about 5 years ago. The house had fallen into disrepair. It's now an empty lot. Fisher's built a building behind there for storage. I remember that one very well. 1332 12th Street, still there.
Skull House.
That was John Skull's house.
That was the John Skull House. Okay. Still there.
I got a plate with that house on it, Ann. It's a source. It's not a source subject. She
Still
wants
there.
it.
Chrysler Home says get back there. 600 block of Main Street. I don't know where that would have been.
Well, it
I have
reminds
a
me.
feeling that it may have been 500 block of Main Street.
I'd say 400 block of Main Street. There was a little blue
400
house there. Remember it really?
Lloyd Whitmer's law office looked exactly like it.
But
Yeah.
I don't think it is because the news office was next to it, and it would be in that picture probably.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know where this was.
Well, it's a tiny house. It's like this would blow over.
But there's nothing next to it. Main Street usually a house.
Was that brick house?
But it does remind me of that little blue one there.
I don't know.
Teacher.
I have no idea.
I don't think that blue one was that deep.
No.
And this house is still there.
What is this?
That house is still there.
I lived there.
Where is it?
I lived there until I was 6 years old.
311 Main.
Oh,
311 Main.
okay.
Where is it?
311 Main, it's a two-story
Yeah, it's right-
house.
It's right next to the VFW.
Next to the VFW parking lot, the Little's name of that house.
Oh.
And next to it, you can see the Hustine House.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
By the way, this is a,
We could see the
What it is.
watermark in the bathroom from 37 Club.
you did what?
When I was a kid, you could see the watermark in the bathroom from 37 Club.
By the way, the VFWs was Becker Brothers. It's out of the picture, but it was right there.
Yeah.
And there used to be 2 stories to the VFW building. It was torn down in 47, the second story. Okay. Clay Switzer Home is now owned by Larry Hagedorn, who is putting some money into it. Slowly but surely. That's all I'm going to say. He's trying. It says George Cressman, 843. That's the Western Auto Store next to it, and those were the Zellies, and
Oh, okay.
it's been the Zellie home since I was in high school in '71.
Grocery store.
Where is this at?
Right next to the old Western Auto Store.
Next to Deborah's studio. There's a grass
Yeah,
landscaping.
yeah.
It was Schultz's grocery store in the beginning.
Right.
Oh,
The house was?
No.
Or next to it? Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
I was like, it's like, really?
843 Main Street, yeah, that's right.
That's
Still there?
Schultz's house.
And there's a house next to it, the Joe Collins house, that was
Yeah.
dropped, I think, 10 feet.
Yes, they did.
All right, that's Dr. Lashley, okay. Houseman again, 618 Jefferson. Oh, that's the same picture.
Yeah.
And you were talking about, okay, we'll move on. And this is the Steinhauer residence, next to it, the big building in the back is Woodcrafters, which burned. And this building here, it got, people quit living here, I guess it's down the industrial section.
Sirs was in it for a short period.
Who did?
Sirs.
Service was there,
And-
Junior Achievement was there when I was in high school.
I just bought the other day the Fireplace Mansion that was in that house. It was been stored
My
for all these years.
understanding, it was an old home. If you remember, across the street at the feed and grain mill, there was an explosion when a tank blew up.
Yeah.
And a shockwave hit that house and took it off its foundation, and they tore it down then. Well,
I didn't have that in
Lost
the
it. wave my hands around, tie my hands around, couldn't talk, okay. But that's a Steinhauer residence. All right, and this is Emil Crestman home, that's Gail Strassell's home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's the Pruitt house next to it. It was a
That's-
hermit house.
Pruitt house next to it, to the left, and that is, boy, did they do a great job with that, and the railroad owns that now. That's where the railroad guy lives or something, I don't know. And, okay. Kathy Finley identified this home for me. This was the home that was next to A.P. Finn's, which is next to January Weinberg's. Beautiful home, torn down for a parking lot, right across the street where Julie grew up. 1908.
Intruder home.
Still there. You notice that building next to it, right there, that's, we call that the Lambeck home. Now, this house and this house at one time were built in exactly the same, brick for brick, nail for nail, exact same homes. Now, out in the middle is where Alton Haggard perished in a fire. Max Cron, everybody in Tell City knew where Max Cron lived because his son was Tommy Cron. Boston, I won't go there. We all know about Tommy Cron. Everybody knew where that building was. Michael Bettinger, that we talked about that building. What a home. 601 Main Street, that's where Telsey National Bank is. You can see next to it another house. And you can see Tony Holland's building is still there. They keep it up. Here's the old Tressler's building. I'll move on.
Don't run on the floors too fast.
That's the modern back there, isn't it? That was your building, right, Tony?
Yes, sir.
That's this one right
It's
here?
further down. It's
No,
That one?
that.
No, it's the brick one.
This one?
Yes,
That one's yours, okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that? That would have been,
The outfell,
Mercer's?
Further down is because of the space. Because you got
papers all the way to the next door.
That's what I was thinking, but
I know.
it's our town.
It might be Capers way in the back there on the right.
Yeah.
And this is 815 9th Street.
Yeah,
Across.
St. Paul's behind.
Oh, there's St. Paul's Church behind there. Yeah, Kathy, remember you pointed that out to me. So,
He was the marshal.
yeah, those two houses, the house on the right is the Gerard house. House on the left was Sharon,
so that's the parking lot for the church now, kind of
Now-
behind the moose.
It's now a parking lot. Now, part of the parish center, I think.
Parking lot-ish, yeah.
Ralph Zerker residence. Molly Husteiner home, 412 Main Street.
Yep.
Is that the
Oh, that's
Pete's?
where Essex Wiltshire live, and the Peaks.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, Bill, you're from Tennessee. This house here, a young lady grew up who perished in the Twin Towers disaster. She was on the top floor, couldn't get out.
Stacy
What was
Peak.
her first name?
Stacy.
Stacy Peak, yeah. She grew up there. Okay, there's the Camerling. That's Dr. Bohoff's. I did get a hold of a Bohoff the other day, and I said, was this house built on an old one? The old Camerling was a Civil War soldier, a very famous one.
You know, there's a rock out back that's got a plaque on it that says that.
Yeah, he said, no, he said this.
Anybody ever walk back there?
Newer home.
No. Does anybody have a picture of the old home that was there?
Sorry, what?
Does anybody have a picture of the old original
Yeah,
home?
we'd love to have a picture of that old home, the old Camerling home.
Yeah.
It'll turn up sooner or later someday. That's the house Paul built.
Tenth Street, is it?
Go back? Oh, Paul.
You want to go back?
No.
Okay. Pickle Mill fire, maybe 1980. Can anybody tell us where that was? We could probably find an old phone book or something. Anybody know what Pickle Miller's first name was? Anybody? And what was his
Bill.
What? What are you asking?
What was Pickle Miller's first name?
Coacher.
Pickle. Does anybody know where that house was? Well, we can find it in an old phone book. We got them up at the museum, but I don't know where that is. That house is still there. It's falling into disrepair. That's as far as I'm going to push that one. 1937 flood. The Otha Rame House. Can you remember that one, don't you?
Oh, yeah, Miss Rain.
Miss Rame.
Yeah,
She
where
was,
was it?
we
That
always
was
took
torn
our
down
stuff to get,
for chair company expansion.
yeah, she would,
Seamstress.
see, thank you. She was the seamstress.
Oh, there you go, Goody. There's your home.
That's an old house.
Oh, there's a young gal that lives there.
4110. Robert and Deborah Hinton, 111712. I don't know if that house is there anymore or not.
It is.
It is. Okay, Kathy said it is. All right. And we don't know where this house was. It's just this question mark. Frank Becker's home, we don't know where that was. I guess we'll find an old phone book on it. Bob and Othello Blake. Robert and Othello Blake. 809 6th Street, probably gone. 37 foot just wrecked these homes. They just ruined them. I mean, the Royal, there's Roy Finn's home. Bill and Othello Rest home. Edgar's, Roy and Paula.
Hey, that's, what's his name?
This house here was right across the
Bert
street.
Finn's.
That's Julie Connor's home on the right. Is that your home on the right, on the left? Yeah. This house here was there, and it was, it's gone. Albert tore it down and put a storage facility there. Sheldon House, 7th and Mozart. I don't know. Don't ask. Okay, this is next to Swiss Plywood. Swiss Plywood would have been on the right-hand side here. And they had all these homes along through here because that's where people lived and they could walk to work. Those little homes were all up and down the streets there. If you look at this, it says, does it have a date? 57, yeah, okay. Most of those homes are gone now.